So hello everyone, I hope everyone is still up and active. So my name is Ramez Mohamed, thanks so much for inviting me. I run Flat6Labs, it's a regional startup accelerator program based in the MENA region. I'll tell you more, like in this presentation, it's more of like an informational presentation about the MENA ecosystem in general. I'm sure, does anyone here would like to open in the MENA region or considering opening or launching a business in the MENA region anytime soon? Any show of hands? Okay. Great. So in this presentation, I'm just giving a quick overview about Flat6Labs and what we have done in the past few years. After that, we'll cover the MENA ecosystem and more zooming into the Egyptian ecosystem or the internet industry in Egypt in general. I think we have just 10 minutes, right? So I'll make this quick. First of all, Flat6Labs, it started in 2011 in Cairo. Our first program, we launched it in like 3.5 years ago. And since then, we have been expanding into more locations and incubating many companies in our program. Now we have locations in 3 countries, in Egypt, Saudi, and opening up a 3rd location this year in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. So just like, this is a very quick overview about our numbers and what we have done so far. So through Flat6Labs in 2 countries, in Egypt and Saudi, we ran 9 programs. We have invested in 57 companies. We have more than 80 mentors in our network. More than 50% of our companies, they receive funding after they graduate the accelerator from investors in Egypt and around the region and in Saudi. We are members in the GAN network, and I'm sure there are a few accelerators here attending the event are GAN members, so you can ask them about GAN and the value of the network. And we have helped create more than 400 jobs in Egypt and Saudi in the past 3 years. So more about our accelerators. We have the first one in Cairo. It was launched in 2011, October 2011, as a partnership between Sawari Ventures and the AUC. Sawari Ventures, the venture capital firm, one of the biggest in Egypt, in partnership with American University in Cairo in 2011. And the other one we launched was in Jeddah in Saudi as a partnership between Qutuf, our partners, the founders of Flat6Labs Jeddah, and with the corporate sponsors, IKEA and Arabian Cement. And the third one we are launching this year is in Abu Dhabi. At 2454, which is the media zone of Abu Dhabi. And this one will be special because it will be an international accelerator. And we are opening the application for the first cycle for this accelerator in November. So if any of you has a business that would like to start in the UAE, I would recommend you to apply when we open the application in November. And this is mainly designed to attract talent from around the region and the world who would like to come to Abu Dhabi or the UAE and open their businesses. So why are we doing this? Why we are expanding in the region? Why we're opening more locations? What is the idea? Why wouldn't we just like, stay in Egypt? Or Egypt is a big country, so we can have multiple accelerators just in Egypt alone. No, we thought that by opening more accelerators under the brand name of Flat6Labs, this way we are creating more opportunities for our entrepreneurs and different entrepreneurs in the region. So for example, if a startup in Saudi, they need a developer, we can help them hire a developer from Egypt. Egypt has like very big talent as engineering talent, technical talent, so we can help them with this. Same for investment. So if any of our startups are looking for investment from Dubai and we have a presence in the UAE, we can help them get funded through our network there. So this is the whole idea of our expansion, that would like to strengthen the startup communities around the region, would like to have more of a capital flow across the borders of the Arab countries and the MENA region, sharing the best practice across all the accelerators we work with, and provide them with the training and the business opportunities they need to be able to develop their business further. So how it works is very structured accelerator program. As we give the funding, we run the program twice a year. By the end, we have a demo day. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the accelerator model. So this is basically how it works. 3 months program. We run it twice a year in each location. And every year, we help more than 60 startups in the region. And these are the services we offer. We give them the training, the funding, from $15,000 to $50,000. In Egypt, around $15,000. In Saudi, $25,000. And in the UAE, it will be $50,000. We also give them the mentorship, and of course, the biggest value that we provide them as Flat6Labs is the network. And this is what we have created very successfully in the past 3 years, that we have created a network of corporates, universities, startups, and people who would like to support these early stage businesses. So back to the MENA ecosystem, and why are we doing this in the MENA ecosystem? Just giving you a very quick overview about the MENA ecosystem and its numbers. The MENA ecosystem alone, like the MENA is just the Arab countries. It's mainly, it has a collective GDP of more than $2.3 trillion. 50%, more than 50% of the population of the MENA region are youth. They are under the age of 25. And maybe actually the ratio is much bigger in Egypt as well. It's like 60 something. There are more than 120 million users using the internet in the MENA region. And this is a huge number. Think of this number as a one community that you can target if you launch your product in Arabic. Because all of them, almost all of them, now, these 120 million people, they speak the same language. So it will be easy, very easy to attract them. Of course, you need to have your product culturally relevant to each of the countries in different parts of the region, but still, they all share the same language. There are more than 70 million users on social networks in the MENA region. And you'll be surprised, one of the highest populations on social media is coming from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia actually it has the highest views per capita in the world on YouTube. Also on Twitter, it's one of the very fastest growing markets on Twitter and Facebook. And we'll talk more about the numbers in Egypt later on. The mobile penetration in the MENA region is more than 100% collectively, and it has more than 70 million broadband users, or people using the internet on their mobile phones. And the digital content industry in the MENA region is expected to reach more than $27 billion by 2015, which is of course a huge number. And the e-commerce is expected to reach more than 1 billion in the same year. So just a quick overview about the MENA ecosystem, the investor, the VCs, the angels. If you are opening your business or your startup in the MENA region and we're going to raise funding from a VC, what people you should go to or who you should talk to. First is, these are the venture capitals in the MENA region. I won't go through like them one by one, but I'll just give a quick highlight, like accelerators in Egypt, Arzan is in Kuwait, Biko is in Dubai, Dash Ventures in Jordan, Emerge Ventures in Dubai, iDevelopers in Egypt, MEVP in Lebanon, Sadara in Palestine, Sawari in Egypt, Silicon Badia in Jordan, Tamkeen in Egypt, and Wamda, they are launching a new fund in Dubai. So if you see, they are distributed across the region, and sometimes they invest outside of their own country. So for example, Silicon Badia can invest outside of Jordan if they want to, and they're already like considering investments outside of Jordan. Same for Biko Capital, same for iDevelopers. They are based in specific countries, but they can consider deals from around the region, which is really good for us. Also, there are corporate VCs, like corporates or entities that have VC arms where they invest through these arms. So for example, there's Dubai Silicon Oasis, which has a VC fund, Chaos, they have the new ventures fund. Mobile Ventures, there's MBC Ventures. All of these actually are in Saudi, like the new Chaos, Mobile, MBC, and there's also Aramco in Saudi, STC Ventures in Saudi. So actually, Saudi is big on corporate VCs, and there's Vodafone Ventures in Egypt and Zain. They have started to invest in startups. There are the internet groups, and we see them like these internet groups, they run their own products, and they do their own investment, they hire their own team, and they build the product themselves. They invest in startups as well, but not very frequently. So there's iMENA, which is one of the biggest in the region, Jabbar Group, which is the operator of Souk.com, the biggest e-commerce website in the MENA region, N2V, Auto Ventures in Egypt, Rocket Internet, they are very active in the region, they have multiple products, and Sarmadi in Egypt as well. And these are the angel groups. There's one in Egypt, which is Cairo Angels, Eureka. It's a crowdfunding platform, and it's really good if you'd like to even consider crowdfunding from the region. They have their network. They can help you with getting different angels to crowdfund your startup, not the product. It's not like the Kickstarter model. It's more like the crowd investment model. There's K-Angel in Egypt. There's Leap Ventures in Lebanon, MENA Venture Associates in Jordan. There's Uqal in Saudi, Sela in Qatar, Serb in Saudi, Shakira in Egypt, which is the angel group as well, Tanmu in Bahrain. And these are basically the accelerators. There are a few of them in Egypt, a few others in Palestine, and ones in Jordan and Kuwait and in Dubai. But all actually are sorted alphabetically, so there's no preference for you. So just a very quick overview. I think we're out of time. But just a very quick overview about just very random numbers about the Egyptian ICT industry or the internet industry, just to give you an idea about what's happening. So there are more than 50 million internet users in Egypt. And the ICT companies, the number of ICT companies in Egypt alone is more than 4,800 ICT companies. Companies working within the internet and communication sector in Egypt. And they are employing more than 200,000 people. There is $2.5 billion contribution to the Egyptian GDP coming from the internet industry in 2012. $6.7 billion was invested in the ICT industry in Egypt in the past 5 years. There are more than 100 million mobile subscribers in Egypt, and more than 20 million percent or 20% of these subscribers are using internet on their smartphones. And there is more than 3.5 million online buyers using e-commerce websites. And very interesting fact that 15% of startups in Egypt are started by women entrepreneurs or women founders. I hope this gave you like a very quick overview about like what's happening in MENA, the MENA players and the Egyptian ecosystem. Thanks so much. I'm around if you have any questions. And thank you.